Okay, so in today's video about Algorand, we are going to check out the live chart and see what is going on there. And unfortunately, now I'm seeing some bearish signs suggesting maybe we're going to have at least another move on the downside. But before that, I'm going to talk about this tweet a bit and tell you why I like this, and this is very, very important in terms of fundamentals. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And as you can see, according to this tweet, in 2024, over 112 million transactions were processed on the Algorand blockchain via TravelX. And I see a lot of people saying that crypto is not going to have a real world use case. Well, this definitely suggests the exact opposite. And if you're looking for a real world adoption example, this is it. Now you might think, well, okay, why is this thing so important? Well, in my opinion, at least, this matters from a volatility perspective, because when you're having a stable coins and these types of adoptions, one of the very important things that this will do is increase the rate of burning tokens. And how is that? Let's go around here. Okay, so the idea is when you are using a stable coin, for example, based on Algorand blockchain, then okay, let's say you are going to make a transaction in here and move some money from, let's say, wallet B to wallet C. The idea is that you pay just a very small amount of fee, and that fee, if the stablecoin is based on Algorand blockchain, is going to be by Algorand's token. Now, that specific token will go to a wallet and it will remain there forever, and those are called burning tokens. Now, if you manage to have more and more adoption, then okay, more and more people are going to make transactions on your blockchain, which means the rate of burning tokens is just going to increase more and more, which will limit the supply more and more. And okay, if the demand, let's say, is going to remain constant, then okay, two things are going to happen. If you are in an uptrend, the price is going to go up at much more of a rapid pace than before. And on the other hand, if you are in a downtrend, okay, downsides at that point are going to be quite limited. And a very, very good example of that, you know it because I have been talking about it for quite some time, is TRX. Let's go on Transchart. There we go. So this is a clear example of how adoption can decrease the volatility, mainly on the downside. You see, let's just measure this bear market back in 2021 all the way down here to about November of 2022. As you can see, this is about, let's say, a 73% move on the downside. Now you might say, well, okay, this is quite a lot. It really isn't. Let's go on Bitcoin's chart and compare this move to this bear market. There we go. Let's measure our bear market from this high to about here. As you can see, in Bitcoin, we had about a 77% move on the downside. So in TRX, our bear market was actually a bit shallower than Bitcoin. Now, this is the key. On the upside so far in BTC, starting from the lowest low down here, about 15.5K, let's say we are having about a 7x move on the upside. And what is the situation on Transchart? Let's just measure this move up, starting from the lowest low to about this side. So as you can see, this is about a 9x move up. So what happened? Basically, relative to Bitcoin, which is, I think, fair to say, the boss of the market, Tron had less of a move down in here, or let's say even equal. However, on the upside, this was much more of a significant move. And that is the power of adoption. And I'm hoping that in Algorand in the future, for example, for like maybe the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to see something very similar, which will limit the supply more and more, and it will cause the bear market to maybe not be as deep as the ones that we had before. And on the upside, well, let's just say the skies are going to be pretty much the limit. So overall, these types of adoption, in my opinion, if you're interested in fundamentals, are fantastic for the future. And I fully believe that Algorand is on the right direction. And I really, really love what they are doing in Europe, especially in terms of stable coins. And sooner or later, I promise you, we will see the result in the price token, meaning we are going to have in this bull run a magnificent move on the upside. And that's why I am not worried about this thing. Now, in like very short term, the story is unfortunately a bit different. Let's go on 15-minute chart and see what is happening. So in the previous videos in Algorand, I was saying, look, as long as we're not taking this low about, let's say 31 cents, we are actually good to go up. And as you can see, so far, despite the recent dip, we still haven't taken this low. However, what makes me say maybe we are going to get another move down and take this low, which will at that point probably cause Algorand to continue this move and also take the lowest low down here about 28.5 cents, is the fact that in this area, I'm thinking now we may have a 5-wave impulsive structure down, which is, you know what, definitely not a good sign. I can tell you, starting from this high to maybe, I would say potentially around here or maybe here, doesn't really matter. We are having 5-wave down into a wave 1, followed by that, this can be an ABC flat or a WXY, doesn't really matter, into our wave 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down into our wave 3, correction for our wave 4, and this can be unfortunately another move down into wave 5. Now here's a question: what happens after a 5-wave on the downside? If you are a regular viewer, you know the answer: a move up. So I'm going to argue in Algorand we are going to probably soon get a move on the upside. However, I want you to not jump into any unnecessary bullish conclusion at that point. Why is that? Because if the bearish scenario is in play, then okay, unfortunately, this is going to be a correction structure. And if you're asking, well, okay, how can I say this is a correction or an impulse? Okay, a very important characteristic of a corrective movement is being absolutely choppy and not that strong. So if you see something like this, you can definitely argue this is a correction, and we are going to at that point make new updates and talk about it. But on the other hand, if you see a very strong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, well, okay, that's going to be a different story. And at that point, we are definitely, I would say, allowed to be more optimistic than before. Nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is this: in Algorand and a lot of other cryptos right now, we need to be a bit careful and not be 100,000% bullish in like very short term. The overall structures, do not get me wrong, are absolutely bullish, and I fully believe that if we are going to get another move down in Algorand in order to take this low, this will probably be the last one, and after it's over, we are going to get a very strong bounce back in order to start the next phase of the bull run. And if you do not care about the short-term price action, well, basically you just do not have anything to be worried about. Having said that, in the short term, again, because we got this 5-wave down, we are now going to be a bit cautious and say maybe the next move up is not going to be as much of a bullish sign as we all think it is going to be. So let's have our final conclusion and wrap up today's video. In Algorand, when we were somewhere around these areas, I was saying, well, okay, this can be maybe an ABC or maybe a WXY in form of a double zigzag. However, because of this move on the downside, which happened in the last couple of hours, now I'm gonna say this looks quite like an impulsive structure on the downside and not a correction, which means, you know what, maybe we are going to get some more moves on the downside in order to take the lowest low down here about 28.5 cents. And I promise you, this is going to be actually overall a fantastic long opportunity, okay? Because when you go on some higher time frames, for example, H1, you realize, well, okay, all of these moves are very slow and choppy when you compare them to this huge move up. And let's just actually do a quick comparison. There we go. Let's measure this move down to about here. This happened in about 18.5 days. And as you can see, in the same period of time, we had this huge move up. So this means so far, despite having way more than enough time, it seems like that the bears are completely failing to pull the price all the way back down to these levels. And because of it, we can say that bulls are still strong and most likely do have the upper hand. And after this small move down is over, we are going to get a fantastic move up, which in it we are going to at least take the highest high in here about 61 cents. But you know what, I don't believe that we are going to stop there. No, we're going to go probably quite a bit more higher than that. So overall, I am 1000% bullish. However, in the short term, I would suggest maybe it's best to be a bit careful. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algorand's chart. Anyway, If you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.